My content is for 13 and up or adult collectors of the product. Hello everyone! For this video, we'll be reviewing Hasbro's Astral Spryzen S7. And before we continue with this video, subscribe to the channel with bell notifications on. There is a lot to talk about with this release. Here is the back, QR code at the end. I do want to mention, right? Okay, so the core spins to the left, but apparently the blade is dual, but either way, we're gonna cover it. The other stuff 4 and 1, so I think that's Quattro balance and I guess attack. Let's have this thing open. Over's not looking too good. So now we're going to be going over our part by part. We're going to be starting off with the Spryzen core. So this is Spryzen S7. So a thing to mention is that it is not dual spin the core, which no matter how you slice it, I'm going to be showing off a graphic real quickly, showing off all the stuff of the past, or at least most, where the core should have just all been dual spin, but Hasbro has split them apart to either be right or left. The two occasions where we got it normal, you know, Lord and World. I think if they weren't able to accomplish the proper gimmicks, then they shouldn't have done the system the way that they did, right? Because it's not fair to anyone. There's no justification. That being said, let's take a look at it. So if I do a side-by-side, so at this point, I even got to say which one's which. I think it's not even, listen, you want to know what? Regardless of what it is, I think my main issue is just that the red doesn't match the actual blade. That's really the thing, because it's very jarring to look at. Like, you know, whatever. Like, at this point, if they're not going to do paint applications, then it's on them for just not doing it. But at the very least, match the color, right? So, obviously, a big difference is it's dual spin, or if you want me to compare to Hasbro, this was dual spin in the past. This was dual spin in the past. I don't know why we're getting like this. It's not even Devilos treatment, because I guess it's Right Master Devilos treatment, or Evo Devilos, because that only got locked to one. Whatever. Let's take a look at it. So, aside from the fact that it looks nothing like it, the slopes, now I am hoping, right? I am hoping good slopes on this, right? Because a left really, I mean, in general, we need like good slopes. All of it's either been like okay to kind of weak. There's been like decent, which I think's the most been Valtryek. So let's pray for Spryzen. The Astral Blade. So the Astral Blade is dual spin, but again, it's my same disagreement for World. Just because they do left and right doesn't mean that it makes sense for how they're executing it, because the idea was you flip it, it was the other side, slightly modified shape, whatever, right? So for this, how it works is that if you want to put a left, I'm going to be holding this in my hand, right? Okay, so we're going to get this. There's it. So if you want it to be left, you put a left core like that. Here's another example of a left core. You can have it like that. Or if you want to put a right core, you can put it like that. So now we're going to cover the main stuff with this. So first of all, at the very least, like let me mention that this should at least be better than Vanish. Well, 100% is going to be better than Vanish. Vanish has like no stamina for Hasbro. Wrath, 100%. Really depends how it handles Roar, or if it at least weighs more. Maybe it's got something going for it. At the very least, this is probably going to be one of the better QD blades, since we don't have much of a standard to begin with. But yeah, the whole thing is the rubber. I miss the rubber. Like Mirage had it, even if it wasn't done 100% proper. Like at least it had it. Could you imagine if you opened up like Spryzen Requiem and it had like this plastic? Man, everyone would lose it. Now it's just like, all right. So the thing is that you can flip it And the idea was you have the other side had the metal, whatever. I wish we had the flip, or at least like a separate release where it was the right side, even though I'm not the biggest fan of having to buy another release when they could have just done the main one to be, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's how the side looks like. Now, listen, I got a little bit of a bay hack. Look at this. They didn't think about this, did they, huh? This is my right Astral Spryzen, huh? Hasbro didn't think I could do this, did they? This actually looks very cursed. Yeah, this is not legal. I mean, actually, it doesn't even matter. I can't even launch it. I can't even launch it, actually, so... Yeah, I guess this is just for the bit. But, yeah. I already mentioned, so maybe it has that going for it. Zero, the gravity ring. They're all cosmetics, so it doesn't really matter for Hasbro, but, yeah. I do actually wish maybe they put a little bit of the stickers on there. Even though my stickers are falling off, that'd be cool. Definitely. Now, I was excited at first. I'm not. Oh God, what happened to Over QuadDrive? Jesus Christ. So here's Over. Here's the Takara Tomy Over. Now, ladies and gentlemen, or whatever you like to be addressed as, we're gonna do the side profile. Now I want you to look at this. Look at the monstrosity. Look at how it got ruined. Oh my God. No. What happened? Why couldn't they just do what they did with like tapered, or why do they gotta cut it in half? Oh, and I guess now Over has more than 2 stars. That's, oh man. And these are just cuts for costs. This is not like... We're gonna get the comments. Oh, but just wait for like 7 years for the pro release. No, they should have just done the disc right to begin with. Hopefully, this at least weighs something, bro. This looks like it's gonna be like 23 grams or something. All right, now I've been waiting so many months since I saw Astral to do this joke. All right. Now tell me how this driver is called Quattro. How it's 4-in-1, and they couldn't do a 4-in-1 driver. Now this can't even be called Quattro, right? Because it doesn't have 4. We're gonna call it Deutsch, because it's 2. It's 2-in-1 in that one. So Quattro had 4 different mode changes, and it was actually kind of cool. This is just plastic molded, whatever. The Unite thing is a little shorter and doesn't even have the rubber on there. And if you take it off, this is supposed to, I guess, be the Extreme? Like the attack mode? So I guess this is Quattro. So to show off the gimmick of Quattro, look, I had balance with Unite, and then after with Switch It, I have stamina for defense, metal, I have rubber attack right there, rubber, Hasbro, rubber, and then after I have defense, metal ball. I don't even know what you'd use this for. I mean, if it has a good spring, I guess you could use this as a good base, but I don't know. I guess maybe in the QD Stadium, you know, we got to think of the alternative, you know. Maybe in the QD Stadium, right? It can go pretty crazy and give some smacks or something. I don't know. Alrighty, well, moment of truth. Time to weigh this thing. 4.55. 7.89. So 7.06, all right, so it's got some weight to it, right? It's got some weight to it, so there's at least something, all right, with the Astral Blade, you know, it's not too light. Okay, now, obviously, if I compare it to this, yeah, 11.79. Gravity ring, 1.659, 13.94. Now, to do this, I say we do Takara Tomy first, and we prepare ourselves. Listen, if this is like 26 or so, we'll see. 33.37. Now, let's see how much this weighs. I'm gonna close my eyes. 25.06. Ideally, if this was going to be good, what it really needed was... Like, it's somehow lighter than tapered by a lot for Hasbro, just 26.36, so The weight needs to be a lot more for it to actually be that useful. Quattro, 10.72, 8.09, 2.54, 5.62. Our final weight is about 46.31 versus, what's our final weight? 77.66. Now, there is some information. Now, for Hasbro fans, if you're going to be asking me how good are the slopes on this, this is probably the exact... I don't know if it's worse than Fafnir. I feel I'll just say maybe around the same level. It's not really that good. I also checked it's not the driver spring. I did think maybe for a second. So, if you're a Spryzen fan and you want it to do good, there's kind of like this red assault that we got in the past. So if you put it on that, even then it kind of feels a little loose. So unfortunately the slopes, so really it's got almost nothing going for it right now. I'm trying to think, maybe like the, I don't know, maybe it has over. Let's take a look. So first off, by itself, this is what it looks like. Side. And a side by side, it's like clear as day to who's who. I don't even gotta point it out, like we can just clearly tell. Yeah, it's just, that's really odd. Not even, I thought at least they would have the slopes. The slopes, honestly, I feel like Spryzen's kind of just, I mean, honestly, like, I don't even know what happened. So that's the side profile. All right, let's get this in high. Oh, I mean, also the orientation is supposed to be like this, but this twisted. So now we're in high mode. Oh no. God, what happened, Hasbro? What happened? It's so thin. Whatever. So quickly, just for this section, which is basically where we have to compare it quickly to the other evolutions. So now just to quickly talk about all the Spryzen stuff. So for me personally, I think the last good release of a Spryzen from Hasbro was most certainly Turbo Spryzen. It had a good enough weight, good slopes, had the Turbo Awakening, even if the Turbo Awakening for Hasbro, they handled it, wasn't 100%, but still, had the wall frame. You know, Zeta Fine was poor, but still, that was pretty solid, right? And then after, if we move on from like the Nerf Spryzens, right? Lord Spryzen, like, I guess, like, the slopes were like, okay, maybe on like the Spryzen S5, weren't really the best. Nothing really else going for it. World, you know, World, I guess you could maybe say the ring could kind of be used a little bit, so fine, you know, we'll give credit to World there. Slopes also were fine, but the rest of it, like it gets more irredeemable and more stuff stripped away from it. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't... Alrighty, we have the stadium set up. Test launch, 3, 2, 1, rip. Get him. Oh, also, because there's no rights, after if I'm gonna do some right stuff, I'll have to use this and we have to pretend this is like right Spryzen. I mean, they're already not painted, so I guess you won't be able to tell. I mean, now you can, because I just said. Okay, who do we throw it up against first? Let's try Guilty. Let's try a big one. How does it do against Guilty, huh? Okay, first one goes to Astral. All right, let's... Does it happen another time for Roar Balkesh to win? Or lose? You know, at least for stock, it can at least do that. Alrighty, moving on. mean, over should at least, like, it should still help it, right? Okay, now just to be sure. All right, sick. It still can't beat something from years ago. All right, just wanted to make sure we're on the same page. Yeah. So, I mean, technically speaking, right, since it doesn't really have the rubber or whatever, that attachment thing is just like a tall fusion, really. That's basically what it is. Cyclone. Okay, now we can see. All right, so this is going to be with no attachment. I mean, this should just go crazy then. See, it's going like wild. Oh, wild-ish. Okay, obviously just... Okay, so just because I'm curious now. So against destruction bellfire, can we manage? Please? No. All right, so actually because I forgot, I do have to show off the right side, so. We're gonna use I mean, at least that now that we're using Valtryek, you know, at least, you know, it should give some sort of hope for this, right? So let's throw this up against, who will be our first? So this one's just gonna really just be against rights, and we don't really need to see the opposite spin, so. We're gonna try to see Cyclone to see how it does. Yeah, this is what I thought, a lot of recoil. So at the very least, this should be able to burst destruction. Gotta have something for it before we get into high mode. Hopefully, right? Something? Alrighty, so because the rights, I have to still use Valtryek, so for high mode, I mean, honestly, like, if you look at it, you can't tell. You can't tell. Alrighty, so for our first high mode battle, our main one for right, it's going to be Cyclone Rocktavor. Let's see how it does. Oh good, they both died. Well, I mean, high mode without the attachment. Yo, nothing? Nada. So I think really just the left side, in fairness, like I did expect probably just the left side would be able to work the most. So now we're gonna try the left side high mode, and hopefully we get something cool. Okay, guilty. Oh, Guilty. See, you know, it's just vanish in high mode. So we'll see. I don't know, maybe at least has the edge over vanish. Okay, so now brilliant. So we have to obviously just end off with a battle against Takara just to see. Obviously the first one goes to it. So, alrighty. And if people want to get mad, just to mention, this is the original Japanese product. I think it's perfectly fair to compare it to the original. And obviously, yes, hard OS, hard OS, hard OS. Okay. Scan it. Alrighty, so final thoughts. What do I think? The core is useless. I mean, the armor doesn't matter, so whatever. The blade, not for rights. I would not say for rights. It feels a little bit too recoily, unless you want to maybe use it for attack, I guess. But I don't know, there are much more viable options to use for Hasbro stuff. Even for an equalizer, like, I don't know. I mean, maybe at least the left. I think at least the left side's got to have something going for it. Probably just the left side, at least. But not really too much. I mean, I mean, for QD, it's probably going to at least be right next to probably tapered QD for usefulness. So to end off the video, let me know your thoughts on Astral Spryzen. Let me know what videos you want to see with it. Also to mention, we have a store where we have a pre-order for Gatling Dragon. We also have the full Chain Kerbeus random booster still on our store and other stuff. Check it out. Optional way to support the channel. And I really do appreciate any support regardless. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day and bye.